Good morning, Silver and Black Nation. Welcome to the Silver and Black Lair. I'm your host, the Bat Frie, Kenny Frie. Hey, it's not the Bat Cave, but here we go. Hump Day. What's up? Hope everybody's doing well. On a couple days earlier this week than I normally am. Usually I do this on a Friday morning. But I have something going on this Friday morning, so I figured I'd bump it up since I don't have the Batcave this week. And hey, it's a great hump day. We get to start off with the Bat Fry, right? Here we go, Adam Glenn. What's up, brother? How you doing, buddy? Hope you're staying warm. It's a little chilly out there. It's a bit nipply, as they say in the skook. It's a bit nipply. I'm sure they say it in other places, but I'm not other places, so forget them. All right, so let's kick it off with the old Chiefs recap. Did not go the way we wanted it to go. I mean, to be honest, the Chiefs are a top-notch team. They have our number. I mean, they have a lot of people's number. Coming off a tough loss to Philly, you knew Andy was going to have his queefs up and ready to play for this game, and they were. They came out and. They were a bit sluggish. We jumped out real quick, 14-0. It's a bummer missing that field goal. It's such a especially for Daniel Carlson, such a chip shot field goal for him. It kind of surprised that Antonio Pierce didn't go for it on 4th and 1. Instead, elected to go for the points for the field goal. I mean, you can look at it. To be honest with you, you can look at it. Take the points. You're going to need points, score. But also, against a team like Kansas City, you got to be a little bit more aggressive. 4th and 1, take the chance, go for it. Try to go for that touchdown. 7's always better than 3. And but like I said, I get it. You can look at it both ways. I mean, when he went for the field goal, was I upset? No, I was a little bit surprised. Like I said, 4th and 1, where it was at in the field. It was I think it was the 20. Was it like 18 or 20 yard line, something like that? I think it was in the red zone. So it's a little bit surprising that he didn't go for it, but I wasn't upset. I wasn't like, oh man, what an idiot. I got it. I understood. Try to get the points, and with Daniel Carlson, he doesn't miss that. He doesn't miss. Period. It's especially that close. I think it was a 38, 39 yard attempt, maybe something like that, and just shanked it, man. I mean, it doesn't happen often. I don't know how many misses he's had under 50 yards throughout his career with the Raiders. It's not many. You probably count it on one hand, to be honest with you. And it was a bit of an anomaly, and Josh Jacobs has said on other podcasts into the media that he felt like that was like a momentum turn. Even though the Raiders came back on their next possession and he had that big run for a touchdown, 60-plus yard run for a touchdown, he said he felt like that was a bit of a momentum swing or a turning point in the game, that missed field goal or not going for it on 4th and 1. I think I disagree a little bit. It seemed like the Raiders still had the momentum. They went out there on defense, able to shut the Chiefs down again, and getting that ball back before Jacobs was able to run for that big run, but long run. But he's in the locker room. He feels it. He's on the sideline. He feels it. I'm not. I'm just some fat ham and egger watching games and then talking about it later on, pretending like I know what I'm talking about. And so not going for it on 4th and 1 would have made a difference. So if they get stuffed and they don't get any points anyway, or, they go for it and, they end up scoring on that drive, would have mattered. I don't know. Who knows what would have happened the next drive where the Chiefs play a little bit more belief. They're already down 14-0 before that drive. You don't know. It's you can play if this, if that all day. You just don't know. And second guessing is for the Monday morning quarterback, for the armchair quarterback like myself. And I'm not gonna second guess that move. It's just you can understand it both either way. You can understand it either way, and just leave it at that, I guess. To be honest with you. Adam says it'll be nice. It will be nice next year. Yeah, it'll warm up a little bit into the mid to upper 40s. Maybe if we get lucky, maybe a low 50. But yeah, I'll tell you what, man. A little bit of a wind yesterday was killer. My daughter had a junior high basketball scrimmage, and walking into it, it was chilly. That wind was ripping, and it's like, son of a gun. Of course I was wearing shorts. That's what I do all year round. I pretty much wear shorts, occasionally throw on some jogging pants and jeans if I have to. But, if I'm going to a wedding or a church, I'll throw on a pair of pants if I have to dress up. But besides that, it's shorts all year round. Katie Spencer checking in. What's up, Katie? Thanks for checking the show out. Tell the Mr. Spencer, Paul, Mr. Fuji 2.0, I said hello. Adam, this bird is for you. Speaking of birds, the Eagles are playing pretty decent. As a nice win they had against Buffalo. They did give up 500-plus yards of offense, which is kind of surprising. Usually their defense is fairly stout, but a win's a win, man. Buffalo, they're playing much better right now, and so beat that team in that weather and get that huge field goal, 59-yard field goal in the rain and stuff like that. That was big time stuff. You could see that team has it. So I wouldn't be surprised if they made another run at the Super Bowl this year. I think Dallas is going to be in their way, but we'll have to wait and see. So after that missed field goal, it was a 14-play drive to come away with no points. But then again, like I said, next series, they're able to score again on that Josh Jacobs 60-plus yard run. So they're sitting pretty 14-0 in the first quarter. All the momentum on their side, and they just died. It just went, and the Chiefs were able to start getting their footing a little bit. They didn't panic at all. Chiefs did not panic. And they started putting together some drives. And, by the time you looked up at halftime, it's 14-14, 0-0. It's like starting all over again. It's like, oh, man, we didn't, gain any ground. We didn't, catch our footing. Any momentum that we had in the first quarter, any movement that we had on offense in the first quarter was pretty much gone, after that. We couldn't do anything on offense. And defensively, we couldn't stop, Patrick Mahomes. And my keys to victory last week was to keep Mahomes from scrambling. He doesn't run for a lot of yards. He doesn't usually run, but he moves around the pocket so well and creates so many plays just by movement in the pocket. It's amazing. It really is. And that's what he did. He was able to step up, roll this way, roll that way, just buy some time and, make a play. He's hitting Kelsey for big plays when they needed it, a third and longs or whatever. And the other lad, I think Rashee Rice, I think his name is. Yeah, Rashee Rice, huge game for him. And the Chiefs, unfortunately, they didn't drop any goddamn passes. I think they dropped one ball against the Raiders. The Eagles, they couldn't hold anything. They were walking around, they're in the in the food line in their locker room after their game playing against the Eagles, and they're dropping food everywhere. That's how much they had the drops against the Eagles. Against the Raiders, stick them or whatever. I don't know. They couldn't. They were catching colds. That's how well they were catching against the Raiders. I mean, that sounds stupid, but you hear about the Chiefs dropping, can't score in the second half. That's all they did was score in the second half. I mean, looking at the the Raiders, they had 245 yards in the first half, second half 113 yards. Just couldn't get anything going. Aiden O'Connell, this was easily his best game as a starter this year. He looked really well. He looked efficient. He hit some decent passes. The one pass that comes to mind that I really liked was a pass that he hit Hunter Renfrow on. I don't know what kind of route it was. I don't want to say it was a flag because usually flag routes are a little bit deeper or corner post, whatever you want to call it. But it was something where Renfro broke in towards the middle of the field and started heading out, and he was able to loft it up over the defender, and just it was perfect. It was a perfect pass right over Renfro's shoulder, beautiful catch. And it's nice to see Renfro getting more targets and more receptions and just making plays. He gets the ball. He can make things happen. He really can. I like Renfro as a player. Hopefully he sticks around. Hopefully they don't ditch him. Hey, there he is, Cowboy Dave, the showstopper, checking it in. He says, "Hey, big man, are the Raiders on a bye week this week?" Yes, they are. Thank God. They could use a bye week. They're banged up a bit, and they have some stuff to figure out right now. So the bye week came at a good time. It would have been nice maybe a couple weeks ago, but better late than never, I guess. Max Crosby, give the dude credit. Not only is he probably our best player, and that's including Josh Jacobs and Devontae Adams. I feel like Max Crosby is our best player. 150% effort every single snap. Plays 98, 99% of the snaps. Now, the game against the Chiefs, he did not because he was listed as doubtful. And he's the first player this season and the first player since 2020 that was listed doubtful to actually play in the game. And not only play, but start and play the majority of the snaps. And then now you look at his stat line is probably – I'm pretty sure this was his lowest tackle total. He only had one tackle, and that was his sack. So I think that was his lowest tackle total for the whole season, but still came in with that sack and still had countless pressures on Patrick Mahomes, and held the edge well. He wasn't over rushing. Sometimes you could see Max, he'd over rush, and quarterbacks are able to get to the outside against him. But he wasn't doing that this game, trying to keep Patrick within the pocket. And didn't work that well because he was able to scramble and create plays and buy time for his receivers to get open. And so you look at I was listening to Max talk to the media after the game, and I guess during the week he said he woke up, a knee was swollen like a balloon. And he said he just felt, he stood up, he almost passed out. He said he felt like he was going to die. They took him to the hospital, the emergency room. They found bacteria in his fluid in his knee, which is huge. I mean, I've mentioned this on past shows. I've had cellulitis in my leg twice, and that's when there's bacteria in your blood. You get a cut or whatever, bacteria gets in there, gets in your bloodstream, and it's a terrible, terrible infection. And each time I was in the hospital for a week. Now, I don't know if he had the same thing or not, but I know it can be brutal. It can be absolutely brutal. It put me down. The last time I had it, I think my fever got up to, I think 104, 105, which, it's, pretty bad. They said I was on the verge of sepsis. And, who knows if I waited a little bit longer, there wouldn't be a silver and black Lair, perhaps. I don't know. We'd be, all you millions and millions of Frie fans out there would be sitting here twiddling your thumbs or actually doing some work or whatever, instead of listening to me yammer on about the Raiders and the Mets and wrestling and stuff like that. So it's serious stuff. So he didn't practice all week, and he had to beg and plead and prove that he can play. And give the dude credit. He went out there and he didn't play at his highest level, but he still played at a really decent level, still to be probably our best defensive player that game. Robert Spillane had another big game tackle-wise, but like I said, Travis Kelce just ate us up, so who does that fall on? I don't know. It's I'm not really an X's and O's, strategy kind of guy. So I don't know who to, your ass is supposed to be covering him. I don't know. I do not know. Richie checking in. What's up, Rich? Good morning, buddy. The Chiefs do have a good defense. They have a really good defense. I'll tell you what. The dude, L'Jarius Sneed, No joke. Devontae Adams ate him up in the first quarter, and that was it. He shut him down, put the clamps on him. And that was, he didn't hear from Devontae Adams again. He was gone the rest of the game. He took him away. You have to double Kelsey. You don't have any receivers. They don't have any receivers. Yeah. So, like I said, Rashee Rice, he had a pretty big game. He had eight catches, 107 yards, 1 touchdown. But yeah, I mean, you look at it. There's nobody name-wise that scares you in that receiving core except for Travis Kelsey. So you have to do something. I mean, he kills the Raiders and I say this so many times. I hate Travis Kelsey with a passion, but goddamn, do I respect him. I mean, that's straight out of Anchorman, The Legend of Ron Burgundy. I think it's at the end where the rival says, I hate you, Ron Burgundy, but goddamn, I respect you. It's like one of those things. Like I hate Travis Kelsey because he kills us every single time we play against the Chiefs. Absolutely eats us alive, and it's coming. You just know it's coming. Like anytime or within 10 yards, Patrick Mahomes is going to move by a little bit of time and get it to Kelsey. It's going to happen. Or if it's like 3rd and 15, he's going to hit Kelsey for 16 yards, 17 yards. It's going to happen, and every time it happens. It's like you just take your hands, you rub your eyes, and it's like, what are you going to do? He's a terrific player. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. Probably will end up going down as probably the greatest tight end to ever play, receiving tight end to ever play. But hate him, but I respect the bastard. Adam says you wear shorts because Jen wears the pants in your relationship. I'm not going to argue that. I mean, it is what it is. That's smart. I'm a wise man, Adam. I'm a wise man. A wise ass and a wise man. Richie says, I know it's silver and black Lair, but what about Punk returning? I marked out. Absolutely. And so I did I'm not going to be on the Atomic Drop podcast this week. This is my work weekend. So I did do a little video I wanted to put out there in the old TikTok and Twitterverse and Facebook of my thoughts of Survivor Series War Games. And I'll tell you what, man, top to bottom, that whole premium live event was fantastic. It was, every match was awesome. From the ladies War Games match to Santos and Dragon Lee to Gunther and Miz to the men's War Games match. Awesome. Absolutely awesome. And watching that, seeing R-Truth, I was pumped to see R-Truth back. Because the dude is just so funny. I like the way he delivers his comedy and stuff. He's a good wrestler as well, but at this point in his career, his comedy is what's getting him over. And just to see him back, it's going to be a lot of fun. You see him on Monday Night Raw. The dude was just hilarious on Monday Night Raw, and then of course Randy Orton coming back. You knew Randy was coming back. They were advertising it. And, even though they're like, oh, he's not here. You knew he was still going to come out. I was pumped when Rhea came out with the briefcase, so I was hoping they would cash in. But, of course, Randy wasn't out yet, so you knew Randy was going to spoil that. But at the end of that match, I'm sitting there watching it. I'm like, well, maybe I never watched the press conference. Like, maybe I'll just hang around and watch the press conference a little bit and see what that's like. Hear Triple H talk about, whatever. And, watching, they had the little credits on the side, credits, insignia or like whatever. I don't know what you call it, like the WWE stamp in the bottom right corner, signifying that it's the end of the pay-per-view or premium live event. I'm like, okay, it's over. And just to hear that music kick on, Cult of Personality, was just awesome. When you say you marked out, I think about just about every wrestling fan that was watching that marked out. I marked out. I mean, so many different videos I've seen on social media of people, grown men or whatever, just going nuts, going ballistic. CM Punk is back. CM Punk's one of my all-time favorites. Just a terrific promo. The promos are just awesome. And his in-ring work is really, really good as well. But it's on the mic is where it's at for him. when he was in AEW. I didn't watch a whole lot of AEW, but I did watch enough to know in AEW he wasn't as crisp as he was in WWE. But on the mic, it's very, very, very good. So I'm excited to see where that goes. Excited to see him against like Seth Rollins again, and maybe him versus Cody, or I'm a big Shinsuke Nakamura fan, so him against Nakamura. So, but yeah, so Rich, this is the Silver and Black Lair, but we'll talk about anything. You throw a question out there, it doesn't matter what it is. I'll talk about it. The Eagles were triple teaming Kelsey. Yeah, and that's the way to go. But even then, sometimes he's just so good. He's so big. Mahomes can put the ball pretty much anywhere he wants to. He still makes the plays. Eileen, Hope Day! What's up, Eileen? Good morning. Hope you're not working too hard. Where's the video? I have to post it yet, Adam. I did it last night before work. I'm going to go back and look at it again, make sure I don't sound like an idiot too much. Of course, I got to sound like an idiot a little bit, or it's going to seem rehearsed. Who do you think? Who do you have, 49ers or Eagles? To be honest with you, I have the 49ers. Eagles sitting at 10-1. I think it's time they lose. I have the 49ers. They're playing much, much better. They've won a couple in a row, I believe. They have weapons just like the Eagles. But I think that Eagles defense needs to kind of find itself a little bit. So I worry that they're going to get torched this week. I don't worry about it. I don't give a shit who wins that game. But, my brother's a 49ers fan, and a lot of my friends, including you, Rich, and, Adam Glenn, are Eagles fans. So, it's nice when you see your friends or your family's team win. So either way, I'll be fine. But I do have the 49ers winning. I think Brock Purdy's playing much, much better than he was a few weeks ago, just like the 49ers are playing much better than they were a few weeks ago. Rich says, I honestly believe the Eagles put a complete game together and win by 17. Wow. You're calling that's just that, if 17, that's basically a blowout when you look at it. All right, we'll have to wait and see. It's a bold statement from Birdland there, Richie. Paul, what's up, Paul? How you doing, buddy? Finally, there we go. Internet's back. CM Punk is back. No, I want AJ back. Oh, that'd be awesome. I'm a huge AJ Lee fan. I'll tell you what, it's a shame that she wrestled when she did in the WWE. She was right on that cusp of the level of women's wrestling that could actually hang with her. Like when she was at the top, there wasn't too many women. I can't name off the top of my head right now that could actually go with her. That actually hang with her. Move for move. Natalia was one, but besides that, I can't think of anybody else. I'm sure I'm missing somebody. I know I am, but now there's so many, almost 5 to 10 women on the roster right now can actually hang with AJ Lee, and it's just too bad that AJ Lee back then, 10 years ago or however long it was, that she left not too long after Punk, like maybe a year or so after Punk. It's just too bad that AJ Lee isn't here now to compete with these women. She was able to compete with Paige and stuff. That was kind of the beginning of it, of the women's revolution and stuff. But wasn't able to, for as long as I can remember anyway, compete against Charlotte and Becky Lynch and stuff like that. She might have had a little bit of Becky. I don't know. That's something I'd have to actually deep dive into. But right now is like the golden age, I think, in my opinion, of the women's wrestling in WWE. And it's just too bad that AJ Lee isn't a part of that right now. But who knows? CM Punk's back, and who knows what could happen. They give a call to AJ Lee, see when her contract's up, say, hey, AJ, you want to mix it up with our ladies? And, who knows, she could be back. That'd be awesome as well. Big AJ Lee fan. Miss those cutoff shorts. Hey, what's up, Danny? How you doing, bud? Danny says, Rich, Eagles will lose by 17. The defense is terrible. The defense is playing very bad. I don't want to say it's terrible because they have some players in the team. So the one thing I don't like, again, I'm a Raiders fan. But living where I live, you get a lot of Eagles news. You hear a lot of Eagles talk. And I feel like, I could be wrong, that there was a lot of turnover on defense this past offseason, going from last season to this season. I mean, the Raiders have Marcus Epps, who was an Eagle last year. Granted, he probably wasn't the Eagles' end-all, be-all on defense, but that's just one part of their defense that is now gone. And if I remember correctly, I think there was a few other guys as well, a couple starters. But again, I'm not 100% sure off the top of my head. One, because I'm not an Eagles fan. I'm a Raiders fan. And two, because I can't remember Dick. Oh, we got Youst on Youst violence. Uh-oh. Dan Youst, yes, defense is bad, but I think they put a complete game together. Man. I don't know, Richie. Oh, it's going, man. Thanks for checking the show out, Dan. It's, they got a couple of Yousts on here. We should have a Youst on Youst debate show on here. You and Richie, cousin versus cousin, just going at it. And I'll be the moderator. We'll go for the trifecta, cousin versus cousin versus cousin. That's what we'll do. Knuckleheads, we'll call it. The three knuckleheads. Or the three stooges. Oh, that's already taken. Never mind. All right, so back to the recap real quick for the rest of this game. I don't know if they went conservative again with Aiden O'Connell, but he wasn't making the plays that he was in the first half. Like I said, they did take away Devontae Adams in the second half. Josh Jacobs wasn't getting the running lanes that he had in the first half either. Defensively, they're able to hold it down a little bit, but with the offense just going 3 and out or just having short drives, they were out there a lot. Marcus Peters was benched second half. We'll get to him in a little bit. I mean, I don't know if it was his last play on the field or not, but it was one of his last plays in the field. I don't remember the exact down and distance, but there was a pass in front of him. Of course, when you play 15 yards off the goddamn receiver, there is going to be a pass in front of you, which still it boggles my mind how there was no correction of it. How this guy continued playing week after week, given that much of a cushion. It didn't matter if it was 3rd and 15 or 3rd and 1. He'd always give that huge ass cushion. And it absolutely killed Raiders Nation. I mean, absolutely. Whenever you go on to Raiders TikTok, you look after the game. There's always the same comments. Why does he give up so much cushion? Why is he giving so much cushion? Why is he giving so much cushion? It doesn't make sense. How is there no correction from the coaching staff? How is there no, hey, dude, play up. We're playing man coverage here. Play up on him. Press a little bit. If you're not going to do it, let's put somebody else in there that's going to do it. Whether it's the rookie who's not playing all that great, but still at least he's going to get in somebody's face, even though he does also give a little bit of cushion, but not nearly what Marcus Peters, who's a veteran, who's one of the who was big W there, was one of the better cornerbacks in the league for many years. Either he doesn't have it anymore, or he just didn't give a shit. He just played off and okay, I'll play off 15 yards and, occasionally make a tackle. Well, anyway, back to the play that I'm talking about. I don't remember the exact down and distance, but there was a pass in front of him. He came up half-assed and dove for a tackle and missed the guy by like 3 or 4 yards. It was like kind of, if I fall on the ground, maybe it looks like I put effort into it. No, he just, kind of sauntered up there and laid down like a bearskin rug, and the dude just ran by him for a first down. I'm watching it on my little cell phone here, and they got to take this asshole out. They got to do something. They can't leave this guy in there. So they did end up benching him. And Antonio Pierce went over, talked to him. Marcus Peters pouted, put on his little beanie cap, something similar to this, I suppose, and stood by himself. Well, then later on, he put his helmet on, stood by himself, took his helmet off, put his beanie back on. And so I don't know why you even put your helmet back on, but, he didn't go out there and try to help his teammates, coaching up the other cornerbacks that are actually going to play, being a good veteran. No, he just kind of stood off and pouted, and so that showed his true colors. So The Raiders ended up cutting him Monday, I think it was. I think it was Monday after the game. They ended up cutting him or releasing him or waived him, whatever you want to say. So he's gone, and I'm glad that you know half-assed players going. I don't know why. I want to say something really bad, but I'm not going to. I'll stick with the words ass and stuff because you see ass on TV all the time now. So I'm not gonna not actual ass, but the word people use the word ass. You don't see actual asses on TV. I mean, depending on what TV you're watching, really. But anyway, I'm getting off subject now. All right. So Dan says he will come on for the cousin versus cousin showdown. There we go. We got it. We'll book it. Adam says Dan is a Giants fan. I don't know if Dan's a Giants fan. I thought Dan was an Eagles fan, but I could be wrong. Richie says, let's do it. He's into it too. We can add Dan Frie also. There we go. We got French fry. We got a whole Frie, Frie house, family thing going on here. This is awesome. Danny's in. He said, let's go. Danny says, I'm an Eagles fan, Adam. That's what I thought. When is the first home game for junior high? I want to say December 11th, Adam. I don't know if that's home or if that's at Pottsville. I can't remember. But I did see your brother yesterday at the scrimmage. I was talking to him for a couple minutes. So that's all I have to say about the Chiefs game. Again, Mahomes killed us. Kelsey killed us. 6 catches, 91 yards. Rashee Rice, 8 catches, 107 yards, a touchdown. Isaiah Pacheco, 15 carries, 55 yards, 2 touchdowns. They didn't run the ball a whole lot. When they did run it, they ran it fairly effectively. Like I said, the 2 touchdowns, short yardage type stuff. They didn't give up many sacks. The offensive line, there was a little bit of pressure on O'Connell. He took some pretty big shots. There was one time in the game where he had to go into the blue tent and get checked out. He got rocked. To be honest with you, I didn't think he was going to come back for a while. I wasn't sure exactly what was wrong, but you could tell he was. I don't know if he got the wind knocked out of him, but he had to go into the blue tent. He didn't look like he was having a fun day after that hit. I think it was I don't know if it was in the third quarter or if it was second quarter. I feel like it was probably the second quarter. But you seen Jimmy Garoppolo starting to warm up, and every Raider fan starts shaking their head. It's like, oh Christ. So. But looking at some other stats, so Mahomes was 27 of 34, 298, 2 touchdowns. Like I said, Aiden O'Connell was 23 of 33, 248, 1 touchdown. He was our Monkey Coffee player of the game. Like I said, his best game as a rookie, and there wasn't too many players of the game to pick from, to be honest with you. Josh Jacobs, 20 carries, 110 yards, 1 touchdown. He had a pretty good game, but most of those yards came off of the 60-plus yard run. And then you look at it after that, it's 19 carries for 55 yards or something like that. So I mean, it is what it is. But that was probably his best game as a running back. There was in the first half there was some running lanes. He was getting 5-6 yards at some points a clip, but they were gone in the second half. Especially when the Chiefs came out, they scored in the first drive of the second half, made it 21-14, and it was all downhill after that. Looking at Chiefs receivers, like I said, Rashee Rice, 8 for 107, 1 touchdown. Travis Kelce, 6 catches, 91 yards. Jacoby Myers, 6 catches, 79 yards, 1 touchdown. And I think that was the opening drive. Devontae Adams, 5 catches, 73 yards. And that was all first half, pretty much first quarter. Hunter Renfrow, 4 catches, 38 yards. He had a nice game. I think he had 6 targets. Michael Mayer, I still think they should have involved more. 2 catches, 27 yards. Defensively, Robert Spillane, 6 solo tackles, 11 tackles overall. Nate Hobbs, he's playing really, really well. I'm glad to see him healthy and just back. He missed a few games earlier in the season, and he's able to play, I think, the last 3 or 4 games, I think, since Pierce has taken over. And he's played pretty good. He's played a couple different spots, cornerback and safety. But he's been playing well. Max Crosby had a sack, and he's up to 11.5 now. L'Jarius Sneed was fantastic for Kansas City. Karloftis, he had a sack. I think that was the only sack the Raiders gave up. You look at the stats-wise, it's a fairly even game. Both teams had 58 plays. The Chiefs had 360 total yards. The Raiders had 358 total yards. The Raiders had 0 penalties, no turnovers. Time of possession, Chiefs 30 minutes, 45 seconds. Raiders 29 minutes, 15 seconds. And it's just looking at all the stats. When I was running them all down, I was looking at them. They're pretty close. It didn't, the 31, I think it was 31-17, wasn't, the score wasn't the tail of the stat. It didn't match up with the stats. You'd swear you look at the score 31-17, the Raiders got slaughtered. Then you go look at the stats, you're like, well, how did they lose by that much? It got away from them. So, and even in the fourth quarter, we were able to get the ball back a couple times. We had chances. We had chances to take the ball down, drive the ball, and score and get back into the game. Nothing was happening. They clamped us down. They shut us down. And it's a good defense. Chiefs are a very good defense. If they figure out their offense, we'll have another season of Chiefs in the AFC Championship or the Super Bowl again. Adam says you're going to get an RKO if they play home. If it's a home, if they play Pottsville. Adam, I kick you right in the nuts. I'll tell you that. Are you going to talk about the Ballers? What do you mean the Ballers? I'm not sure what you're talking about. Dan Youst says, well, we can have a Christmas special. There you go. A family Christmas show between the Youst and Fries, cousins. We'll have to think of something. We'll get Johnny in on this too. We'll get John in on it. I don't know what we'd call it. Cousins corner. No, that's gay. Cousins corner. No, we won't do that. Besides, yeah, we'll figure something out. Rich is laughing. Stacy Baker, what's up, Stacy? Thanks for checking the show out. She said, "Good morning, Ken." Good morning, Stacy. Yeah, how about that? A Christmas special with the Fries and Yousts. We'll have to make it. We'll make it happen. We'll make it happen. We'll have to figure something out. We'll all get on here and talk trash and sports. Sounds good to me. All right, so now the Raiders head into a bye week after that Chiefs game, and it's a much needed bye week. Just a lot of guys banged up, tired. 12 games in a row. So it's a good time for the bye week. Let Max Crosby heal that knee up. That's been bothering him for, I think, since week 2. I think he's been on the injured list since week 2 for the injury report every week that comes out. He's been on that since week 2. So let him rest that, heal it up, and the Raiders can kind of regroup and figure some things out, catch their breath after the whole coach firing, GM firing, offensive coordinator firing. You got some interim guys, some new guys to all those positions. Actually, you look at it. Antonio Pierce this is his first time as a professional head coach. Bo Hardigree, it's his first time as an offensive coordinator calling plays, and the general manager, whose name just escapes my head right now, this is his first time as a general manager as well. So let them all right, take a step back, catch your breath, and go from there. Another bit of news, like I said, about the Raiders releasing Marcus Peters, which was much deserved for Marcus Peters. Let him go screw somebody else over. But the Raiders also released Roderick Teamer. Now, Roderick Teamer is an interesting one, safety for the Raiders. He's been on IR, I think, the whole season so far. So he was due to come back. He just came off the IR. He was due to come back against the Queefs. And the night before the game, he gets busted DUI, out past curfew, DUI, speeding. I mean, of all the dumbass things to do, especially in Las Vegas, especially with the Raiders, after what happened was it last season or 2 seasons ago now? I feel like it's 2 seasons ago. And after that happened, that debacle, to do something like that again, not only put yourself in jeopardy, team in jeopardy, but put somebody else's life in jeopardy with speeding and drunk driving. There's so many different avenues for getting a ride now. But not just before it used to be the cab. You call a cab. You got cabs. You got lifts. You got what the hell's it called? The original one. I can't think of it right now. Not a lift. Why can't I think of it? I keep wanting to say Hulu, but that's a TV service. But you know what I'm saying? There's so many different avenues that you can go for getting a ride home, and you're still driving drunk and then speeding to boot. Whatever happened to being careful when you've been drinking and driving? I'm going to drive. I'm just a little bit buzzed. Okay, we're just going to go nice and slow and take it easy. And thank you, Stacey Baker, because I couldn't think of it. Uber. That's the other service. There's buses and stuff like that. I mean, teammates ride or family, stuff like that. But whatever happened to being careful? I mean, I don't understand. It's you go out there, okay, well, I'm a professional football player. Well, let me drink and then go 150 mile an hour because I'm a retard. I don't get it. I don't understand it. It boggles my mind. So they end up releasing Roderick Teamer. Much deserved again because you're an idiot. You're a moron. So you deserve that. But with the Raiders waiving Marcus Peters, that saves them $300,000. They owe him, I think, $1.1 million. I heard, and $60,000 per game that he played in. So they'll end up saving $300,000, which is good for the cap, I guess. Danny says a lot of trash will be talked in the Cousins corner. Cousins. We got to think of a good title. Eileen says, "What's your prediction of the bye week, or they lose? They will. The Raiders. I'll tell you what. So in past years, I would say that they're definitely going to lose the bye week. But you know what? I feel like they've played so much better, so much livelier under Antonio Pierce that I'm going to give them a break. I'm not going to say they're going to lose the bye week. Just chill and take it easy. But usually at Buster Balls, they suck ass. They're going to lose the bye week because we've been so bad since 2003. With minus a couple seasons in there, not many seasons, but there was a couple seasons that they've made the playoffs or played better. But for the most part, since 2003, it's been a shit show. Rich is laughing. He's laughing out loud. Dan says, will definitely be a great time. It would be. It'd be a lot of fun. The Uber comment. Out of the box has too many fries. Never enough fries, Adam Glenn. Never. Cousins Cave. Yeah, we could do that. We could use the Bat Cave logo. We would go Cousins Cave with your host, the Bat Fry. There we go. Thank you, Stacy. That works. I like Cousins Cave. At least the Raiders won't lose. They won't lose the bye week, which is a bonus. So, like I said, catch your breath, the coaching staff. Aiden O'Connell, rookie, catch your breath. They need to start evaluating some of these rookies. Some of these rookies haven't been playing. Byron Young, Nesta Jade Silvera. I think for some reason I feel like Nesta Jade Silvera is hurt. He got into the game week 2 or 3 and made a terrific tackle, a great play. And I think he got rolled up on, but I haven't seen his name on any injured list. So I don't know if he's out injured or if he's just not playing. Amari Burney, he got in a couple games. Now we need to see more of him. Jacorian Bennett, a lot more of him, which, Marcus Peters being released. Roderick Teamer, we should see more Jacorian Bennett. And Tyree Wilson. I need to see Tyree Wilson there a lot more, see if he's Tyree Wilson was our first-round draft pick, so you're not going to cut his ass after one season. But I think he needs to get more reps, kind of see what you got going on there with him. So far, he's kind of underperformed, but again, he's just a rookie coming off an injury from his last season at college. Came into missed all training camp due to it. I think he missed the first game maybe because of it as well. Still recovering from it. So kind of give him a pass a little bit. Michael Mayer, he's coming along nice. Like I said, I think they should feed him the ball a little bit more. Defensively, the Raiders' defense has played pretty decent. Again, if you look at the stat-wise rankings, they're kind of middle of the road, ranking like in the low 20s overall, like 21, 22, which is good for them. Usually they're 31, 32. So, it's an improvement, and just keep going that way. Robert Spillane has been a pleasant surprise, so we'll take that and see if we can get Max Crosby maybe a defensive player of the year. He's only a couple sacks behind the leader, so I think he's sixth in sacks with 11.5 right now. A couple more comments here. Richie says F Dallas. Adam says the show will be called the French Fries Talk Sports. Well, they're not all fries. We got a couple of Yaus in there. So what are you going to do about those poor guys, Adam? Come on now. Let me see. I don't know how many times I should get a clicker, and every time I say I click it. I'd be in the thousands, I think. So looking ahead to what the Raiders have after the bye week, they have Minnesota coming up. I did it again. Home versus Minnesota. Minnesota is sitting at 6-6. I just lost to the Bears. I think it was 12-10 or whatever, 13-10. Crazy, awful side. The Raiders were destroyed by the Bears, 30-12. I'm not really bashing the Vikings for losing to the Bears, but the Vikings were playing, better football. But Dobbs kind of shit the bed against the Bears. I think he had 4 interceptions. I could be wrong. Then they play the Chargers. Chargers sitting at 4-7. And they go to Kansas City again. The Chiefs are 8-3. They go to Indy to play the Colts, and the Colts are 6-5. And then to wrap the season up, Denver comes to Vegas, to Sin City. And as of right now, Denver is 6-5. So there's 4 out of those 5 games are very winnable for the Raider team, for this Raider team. It really is. The Raiders can beat the Vikings. The Raiders should have beaten the Chargers earlier in the season. We lost 24-17, and there were some terrible, terrible calls that game. I remember talking about it. 4th and short calls. I think there was the one where we were on the 1 or 2 yard line, and we decided to pass the ball. That was Aiden O'Connell's first start. And we were like, no, it wasn't the 1 or 2 yard line, but we were in the red zone, and I think inside the 10. And instead of running the ball, which we were doing fairly decent at that point of the game in the 4th quarter, they decided to pass the ball and threw an interception right away. It's like what the hell are we doing with a rookie quarterback? 4th quarter, a chance to, I think it was to tie it up or is to go ahead. I'm not sure. I think it was to tie it up. And we're passing the ball. It did make sense to me. It's just there's a couple more asinine calls there. Just really really frustrating stuff. So we could have beaten the Chargers earlier. We'll kick their asses this time. The Chiefs going to Kansas City. I just don't see it happening. The Raiders in Kansas City don't usually play all that well. They don't play the Chiefs all well. Home or away, it doesn't really matter. But in Kansas City, it's really bad. But going to Indianapolis, playing the Colts are 6-5. They're not world beaters. The Raiders can beat them. And then, of course, Denver, we already do have a win against them, 17-16. It's a different Denver team. And as much as I hate the Ponies, the Denver Donkeys, they're playing much, much better. Russell Wilson playing very good. Defense is playing very good. Sean Payton, who I still think is overrated as a coach, he's got them playing really well. So we'll see what happens at the end of the season. That could be, if everything goes the way it should, I hope it does. That could be one of those games that are kind of one of those teams could be in a play for a playoff spot. So we'll see what happens. So that's what we have looking forward after the bye week of our stretch run of the season here. So points per. I'll go over some team stats here real quick. Points per game. The Raiders are 26th in the league, 16.8 points per game, which is shit. Offense scoring 16 points per game. How the hell are you supposed to win games like that? Yards per game, 28th, 284 yards per game. Rush yards per game, 30th, 82. Pass yards per game, 22nd, 201. Opponents' yards per game, the Raiders are 21st, giving up 343 yards per game. Opponents' points per game, the Raiders are 17th, giving up 21.3. And opponents' rush yards per game, the Raiders are 25th, giving up 127 yards per game. So the offense is just, the offense is stinking it up. The defense, looks as, you look at the stats, it's a lot of bend but don't break type of defense, defensive play there. They give up a lot of field goals, which is good. Hold teams to field goals, but you got to score touchdowns then. You got to score back, but you can't do that when you're only scoring 16 points per game. And looking at stat-wise, so through each quarterback has 6 games under their belt. Jimmy G has 6 games as the Raiders starter, and Aiden O'Connell, he has 6 games as a starter. So you compare their stats. Jimmy G, 110 completions out of 168 attempts. 1,205 yards passing. That's a 65.5% completion percentage, 7 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. And you look at Aiden O'Connell, 113 completions, 178 attempts, 63.5 completion percentage, 1,194 yards passing, 4 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. So it's not that far off what Jimmy G was doing. And Aiden O'Connell's a rookie. And Jimmy G's a winner. He knows how to win. Yeah, my asshole, he does. Josh Jacobs, 220 carries, 771 yards passing, 6 touchdowns, 35 catches, 280 yards receiving. Then looking at our other receivers, Devontae Adams, 69 catches out of 118 targets, 814 yards receiving, 4 touchdowns. Jacoby Myers, 52 catches, 591 yards, 6 touchdowns. Michael Mayer, 22 catches, 251 yards, 1 touchdown. Hunter Renfrow, catches, 209 yards. Robert Spillane is 9th in the league in tackles with 105 tackles, 55 of those solo, 2.5 sacks, 3 interceptions. He's been a beast for the Raiders, absolute beast. Divine Diablo, who's missed a little bit of time with an injury earlier, he has 70 tackles, 41 of those solo, and he also has a sack. Then, of course, Max Crosby, who's 6th in the league in sacks with 11.5. He's also 2nd in the league in tackles for loss with 15. He also has 66 tackles, 39 of those solo. Meek Robertson, 2 interceptions. Trayvon Merrick, 2 interceptions. Nate Hobbs, an interception. And the Raiders giving up 13 points per game. Or no, they're 13th in the league in pass against the pass, giving up 216 yards per game in the pass. So that's what I have for the Raiders. Looking ahead, it's they have some winnable games. They got to play better on offense, though. They got to play much better on offense. If they're going to stink up the joint on offense, it's not going to go well. So real quick before I head on to the Kings, I right now my stomach is telling me, which is a big stomach, that Antonio Pierce is not going to get the head coaching job. That they're going to look elsewhere. I think it's going to have to be a really big turnaround for him to get the job. It's just a lot of inexperience, a lot of missed chances for some aggressive play calling, which is what you need. The offense is struggling. Why not go aggressive? What do you have to lose? You're an interim coach, right? I know you're coaching for your job, but have the balls. Get aggressive with it. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. You go back to being a linebackers coach or a defensive coordinator or something like that. So, but the offense, needs to be better defensively. Continue doing what they're doing. Bend but don't break. Need more pressure out of the defensive line. Max Crosby, He's the only one that gets consistent pressure. We need the guys up the middle. Adam Butler, Jerry Tillery, guys like that, Bilal Nichols, to press up the middle, do better against the run. Robert Spillane, keep doing what he's doing. Divine Diablo, Luke Masterson, guys like that. I think linebacking core has played much better. Probably this is the best complete group that the Raiders have had in a couple seasons. So I think so anyway at linebacker. So real quick before I jump into the LA Kings, I'm going to go ahead and do my sponsor reads here. And we'll start with Monkey Cold Coffee. Go ahead on over to monkeycoldcoffee.com. Coconut rum. The Sumatran blends a medium roast and get that whole bean or ground. They also their newest blend is organic blend of Perula, Florida. That's part of their global gourmet collection. They also have a honey agave out right now. I haven't seen it posted as it's for sale on their website yet. I'd have to go on there and check it out. But they do have a couple new flavors that are supposed to be out by the end of the month, and we are approaching the end of the month. So I think honey agave was one of them. So be sure to check that out once that's on the website at monkeycoldcoffee.com. Head on over to their swag shop, get yourself a T-shirt with Roderick on there. That's their little monkey, coffee drinking monkey. That's their mascot. It's also on their coffee mug and their tumbler. Those are awesome. I love the tumbler. Actually, the tumblers just keeps the coffee hot for quite a few hours, which is usually when you get a tumbler, usually you get an hour, maybe if you're lucky an hour, and the coffee's still hot. But I'm telling you right now, that tumbler, the Monkey Cold Coffee tumbler, there's been times where at work it's like 6 hours and it's still fairly warm. It's not hot. After 6 hours, it's not hot. That's a long time, but it's still warm enough where you can drink it. It's like, hey, I'm drinking coffee still. They also got the cold brew pitcher. That's awesome if you like iced coffee or cold brew coffee. The K-Cup adapter for all you K-Cuppers out there. And don't forget your Paradise Rum Cake. That's pretty good. And all that you can get at monkeycoldcoffee.com. So once you selected your coffee and your T-shirts, when you're at checkout, be sure to enter that promo code OOTB Sports for 10% off. That promo code, once again, is OOTB Sports for 10% off at monkeycoldcoffee.com. Now, for all you personal, people out there with your personal injury claims and workman's comp and stuff like that, hurting yourself at work all the time, or you're just clumsy and you're falling everywhere, at a Costco or something like that, be sure to reach out to Jason Fine, attorney Big Al, at 1-800-HURT-123. That's 1-800-HURT-123. Jason Fine specializes in motor vehicle accidents, slip and falls, workman's comp, and personal injury claims. They have 3 office locations conveniently located throughout Pennsylvania and New Jersey, and first in the Garden State of New Jersey at Cherry Hill. The office is located at 3 Greensward Lane. The phone number there is 856-209-5258. That in the steel city of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. The offices are located at 500 Grand Street, Suite 2900. The phone number there is 412-365-8151. Then in the city of brotherly love, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, the offices are located at 1628 JFK Boulevard, Suite 2120. And the phone number there is 267-888-2980. That's Jason Fine, attorney Big Al. You could also, like I said, use that number 1-800-HURT-123. If you can't remember, they're like, oh, what the hell was that number? Use the 1-800-HURT-123 number. That's always available. And it's memorable as well. It's 1-800-HURT-123. Okay, I can remember that. And I forget everything. All right, got a couple comments here before I hit a little bit of hockey talk and go to bed. Danielle said, sounds like you need a new OC. He's a new guy. First time calling plays, first time OC. So we'll see what happens. I like I said, I don't think anybody. The only person I could see being retained is the GM, and I just can't. I cannot think of his name right now. I cannot think of it, and it's pissing me off. But yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if Antonio Pierce or Bo Hardigree will be back. Adam Glenn says the show will be called the French Fries Talk Sports. I think I already did that right. Yeah, I did that one. Stacy Baker says I agree with Rich. Fuck the Cowgirls. There you go. Rich says it was 4 interceptions. You were correct. That was the Dobbs against the Bears. Vikings Dobbs. Adam Glenn Jefferson will play against the Raiders. I hope he does. If they don't have a quarterback who can throw to him, it doesn't really matter if he plays or not. But it'll give our secondary a good test to see what we got going on here. Because we're going to have to jumble some guys around. With the release of Marcus Peters. So I hope he does. I already did that one. I'm out of order here. Frank Reich Frank Reich can suck it. That guy's like Josh McDaniels. Adam Glenn, who will fill in for you on Wrestling Show? I don't know yet, Adam. It's either going to be Paul, Mr. Fuji, or it's going to be the ladies from the Keep It Real podcast, who are awesome on Monday night in their first show. They're on every Monday at 7:15 p.m. They had Yellow Man on there, indie wrestler and / rapper. He was a great interview. I was watching it and commenting and stuff. And the ladies knocked it out of the park. Frank is a good OC. I don't know. He might be. He might be a product of a good system, a good head coaching system. Well, so when he was with the Eagles, who was the quarterback when he was with the Eagles? I mean, so you look at Josh McDaniels. You're getting me all wound up here, Rich. Now I'm starting to sweat in my beanie here, and you're going to get me wound up. So you look at Josh McDaniels. He's a good OC. He's the quarterback whisperer. He said that he can make. When he went to Denver, he said he could make a high school quarterback into a professional. That's how good he is. That's how good he thought he was. But he had Tom Brady. The same thing with Bill Belichick. With he's the greatest coach ever. He had Tom Brady. Bill Belichick hasn't done dick since Tom Brady left. Josh McDaniels was like a moron. Since Tom Brady left. Tom Brady won another Super Bowl. He didn't need them. So I mean, it's and Frank Reich. He had Wentz and Foles. So I don't know. So Wentz turned into a shit show quarterback. Looked really promising his rookie year until he got hurt. And Foles, moments throughout his career he was really good, and moments throughout his career he was really bad. They kind of caught lightning in a bottle when Wentz went down. Foles came in. He played okay throughout the rest of the regular season. I remember the Raiders played him. I don't remember if the Raiders beat them or lost to him, but it was like a 10-7 or like 13-10 game or something like that. It was really bad. There was a little bit of weather. I don't know if it was snow. I think it was in Philly. I think, it wasn't in Oakland or Las Vegas with snow. But I believe it was a really cold, windy, and stuff like that. So it was a bit of a weather game. But they kind of caught lightning in a bottle with Nick Foles. But their head coach, what the hell's his name? I could picture him. Doug something, whatever it is. I can't think of his goddamn name. Doug something. But he was a great offensive mind as well. So it's not like he went. Frank Reich was doing it all himself. A couple really good offensive minds working together. So I'm not buying the whole Frank Reich is a good offensive coordinator thing either. I'm not buying it. I'd have to see it again. Doug Peterson. Yeah, thank you, Rich. Adam Glenn says the ladies are great. Yellow Man is your favorite wrestler. I'd never seen Yellow Man wrestle, but if I did see him wrestle, he would be my favorite wrestler. Adam Glenn. All right, so moving on from the Raiders talk to a little bit of LA Kings here. Let me switch the layout here so it'll look professional. Paul does a great job with these, so I want to keep it looking. There we go. Look at that. That looks good. I like that. Clean, crisp, looks good. At least one of my teams don't suck ass. That's all I gotta say. The Kings staying hot, looking good. So since the last time I was on, they had 2 games. They defeated Ducks in Anaheim, so that was a road win. They keep the streak alive, 9 straight road wins. They beat them 5-2. And I'll tell you what, it was a feisty game. A lot of penalties. I wasn't able to watch it, but I was listening to it on the radio. They got chipper a couple times. I know Andreas Englund got into a fight there, a little bit of a scrap, and there were some haymakers thrown. I'll tell you what, there were some bombs that he landed. Even the dude that he was fighting, I can't think of his name. Even the dude he was fighting got a couple shots in on England, but England was a much bigger dude, and he took it to him. He got a couple lefts in there, and he ended up dropping them. But even besides that, a bunch of roughing penalties and stuff like that throughout that game. So it was chipper. Their rivals are fairly close. I think what do they call it? The freeway rivalry or something like that. I don't know what the hell they call it. But looking at it, Kevin Fiala had 2 goals, 1 power play goal, and the 1 goal that he had was phenomenal. It was a shot, but I think it was a shot by Kempe, but I can't remember for sure. It was a deflection. How did it? I think did it go behind? No, it went off the goalie. It went straight. I think it went off the goalie, deflected off the goalie, went straight to Fiala. It was a tight angle, and as soon as he got it on a stick, he shot it. And the goalie was coming over to protect that side of the net and never made it. It was one right behind the goalie's shoulder. It was a phenomenal shot. Terrific. It's terrific play by Kevin Fiala. Really, really nice. Andrzej Kopitar had a goal and assist. Arthur Kaliev had a power play goal. Quentin Byfield continues to produce. He had a goal. Felipe Denault had an assist. Kempe had 2 assists. Trevor Moore had 2 assists. Trevor Moore's just been awesome this season. Drew Doughty, 2 assists. Vladislav Gavrikov had an assist. Jordan Spence had an assist. It's everybody chipping in. Cam Talbot, 29 saves, another stellar performance from him. The Kings had their penalty kill streak snap. It was up to 27 straight penalty kills without giving up a goal. That was snapped in that game. But like I said, they got the win. Now they start the season off 9-0 on the road. 9 straight road wins. The record is 10. I think it's held by Montreal. I'm not sure when it was, but I think Montreal has a record at 10. And the Kings end up playing Montreal. This one was in LA. They get the win 4-0 shutout for Phoenix Copley, which is terrific for him. He's playing much, much better. The last, I think, his last 2 or 3 starts. I'm not sure what it is, but he's been playing really, really good between the pipes. He didn't have a whole lot of work, only 18 saves, but he made all 18 of them. That's what matters. Jared Anderson-Dolan, he had an assist. Pierre-Luc Dubois had 2 assists. Fiala had an assist. Another point for him. Grunderson, he had a goal. It was a beautiful one-timer in the first period. Arthur Kaliev an assist. Trevor Lewis a goal. Trevor Moore, playing, like I said, phenomenal. 2 more goals for him. Andreas Englund an assist. They killed 3 more penalties in that game. They only gave up defenses, but the defenses played so well this season. It was one of our big letdowns last year, I thought, especially in the playoffs. Our penalty kill and our defense, I thought, was what did us in against the Edmonton Oilers in the playoffs last season. They only allowed 1 shot on goal against the Canadians. I think it was that Saturday or Sunday, whatever day it was. I don't know. It doesn't matter. And now that's 5 straight wins. And through those 5 straight wins, they've only allowed 5 goals. So good stuff there. Playing really, really good hockey, really good defensive hockey. Everybody's contributing. All 4 lines just playing awesome. Even with Um, Blake Lazat. Even with Blake Lazat out, they had to jumble the lineups a little bit. They split up Fiala and Dubois. Those guys are thriving on their lines, and that fourth line without Lazat is still continuing to contribute. And when Lazat gets back, it's only going to get better. Jared Anderson Dolan, since being called back up, he's played well. And hopefully Phoenix Copley has got this figured out and is able to continue to play well between the pipes. To be a backup goalie to Cam Talbot, because Cam Talbot's I think 39, 38, 39. So he's gonna need some extended breaks. And and if Copley's playing well, he's going to be that guy to give him a spell. So looking at a couple big stats for the Kings, they're number one in penalty kills. Last season they're near the bottom, I think, the bottom half. They're 89.4% in penalty kills, number one right now. Number one in goals against. They've given up the fewest goals so far this season, 45, and they're number four in goals for, 76. And the one letdown, though, has been their power play. They're 14th in the power play right now with 20%. That needs to get a little bit better. But then I know they're trying a couple different things with the power play, a couple different lineups and matchups and stuff. I think they'll get to figure it out. Looking at some stats here, Kempe is tied for the lead in points on the team. 8 goals, 12 assists with 20 points. Fiala, 6 goals, 14 assists with 20 points. The captain, Anze Kopitar, 10 goals, 9 assists, 19 points. Trevor Moore, 11 goals, 8 assists, 19 points. Quentin Byfield, like I said, has played awesome so far. 4 goals, 12 assists, 16 points. He's been, I think he only had 3 or 4 goals all of last season, 50, 58, 59 games. Felipe Denault, 4 goals, 9 assists, 13 points. P.L. Dubois, 5 goals, 6 assists, 11 points. I'd like to see him contribute a little bit more. He's been doing well, but, just kind of getting his feet wet with the Kings, being new to the team and all. I think he could score more. Arthur Kaliev, 4 goals, 6 assists, 10 points. Drew Doughty, 4 goals, 6 assists, 10 points. Jared Anderson Dolan, 1 goal. Or no, Mikey Anderson, 1 goal, 7 assists, 8 points, and 7 goals, 1 assist, 8 points. So, fantastic. Like I said, top to bottom, I think the Kings have the most players with double-digit points in the league. I feel like that's a stat. It could be. I could be making it up. I don't freaking know. So look ahead to who's next for the Kings. They have the Capitals coming up tonight in LA. The Caps are sitting at 10-6-2. So it's going to be a nice test there, and then a really big test at home on the 3rd this Saturday, I believe that is, against the Avalanche. The Avalanche is 15-6. They're ahead of the Kings right now in the Pacific or in the Western Conference. And then they go to Columbus. On the 5th, they go to Columbus with a chance to tie the all-time record for road wins to start a season, I believe. The Columbus is sitting at 7-12-4. And then they go to Montreal to break the record. Hopefully it's to break the record on the 7th. Then Montreal sitting at 9-10-2. So I mean, as long as the Kings, just continue doing what they're doing, playing good, strong defense, good, strong penalty kill, and getting offensive contributions from so many different people from all 4 lines, they'll be fine. They move the puck extremely well. The passing is, has been excellent so far this year. And the one thing, just watching as many of their games as I have, I've noticed that offensively, it's just like a continuous attack. It's like a loop, a continuous loop that always attacking. Once they're in the offensive zone, it's nonstop. Like if it's just trying to think of what you compare it to, but there's I can't think of what the hell the bird is called, but there's this bird I think it's in Australia, It's a big ass bird, and they from all the videos that I see, I don't know if it's a regular thing or not, but they constantly attack people, and it's just like it's a constant attack. It just continues. It's continuous, nonstop, and it kind of reminds me a lot of the Kings' offense right now. It's just continuous attack, straightforward attack. Then you'll have the next line, attack, side to side, attack. Next line, straightforward again. It's continuous. All four lines. It's right now it's really, really good. I mean, it's a long season, so there's going to be some cold points in the season. There's going to be some cold spots. There's going to be some times where your fourth line's not going to contribute or your third line's not going to contribute. Last season, our first line kind of struggled a little bit with Byfield being part of that first line, but we dropped them back to I think the second line near the end of the season. The first line kind of started picking it up a little bit more, but now with Byfield contributing the way he's contributing, the first line has just been awesome so far this year. That's Kempe, Kopitar, and Byfield. I got a couple comments before I get the hell out of here and go to bed. Richie says, have a good day. Have a good day, Rich. Adam says, unlike him, because he likes Batman. Okay. I like Batman. I like Batman a lot. Adam says, per HR, I will not be paid for this show. You said too many times. I say a lot. And I'll tell you what, Adam. I think about it. I try not to say but the more I think about it, the more I say it. And it's funny because I'll watch sports same thing. I'll watch coaches or whatever or interviews, and the person being interviewed, they say a lot as well. Just watching it's two words, it's like man, I'm not the only one that struggles with it. But when I listen to other podcasts, it's like seamless. I don't hear the or anything like that. But there are other things that some podcasts, like the Hammenager podcast, like that I have. Not a professional podcast, just something that a Hammenager like myself does, just for fun to talk about sports, and to interact with people commenting. They might not say a lot, but they'll say a lot, or they'll say like a lot. Where there's at times where I won't say that much, but I'll say over and over and over again. And I'll go back and I'll watch my show like, God damn, why do I say a lot? So, I mean, it is what it is. Adam, next time I see you, I want to put my foot in your chest, and when I look you in the face, I'm going to go, I'm just teasing Adam. Or am I? So that's all I got for today's show. Some good stuff from the Kings. Some not good. Adam says, bring it. You're a good dude, Adam. The Kings, continuing to make me smile. And otherwise, a dim silver and black Lair. The Raiders, so after the 2 wins against the New York teams, you knew it was too good to be true, because it was against the New York teams. Both New York teams kind of struggling offensively. So you kind of take that for what it was, even though the Giants are playing better right now. But the Jets offensively, just not so much. And it's a bummer. I think that Jets team could have been so good this year if they just had a competent quarterback. So, and sorry, Eileen. It is what it is, right? All right. So I'm going to get the hell out of here. I'm at a loss for words right now. I have nothing else to say to anybody. I'm going to stall a couple seconds here, see if there's any other comments that put out there. If not, All right, doesn't look like it. I'm going to shut this banner off here real quick. All right. So thanks for checking the show out. I appreciate it very much. All you guys commenting out there. Stacy, Baker, Eileen, Adam, Richie, Danny, French Fry. Everybody checking the show. I appreciate the comments so much. It makes it a lot of fun. It makes things go smoother. I still say a lot, but I say a lot too. I'm trying not to do it now, but I can't. It's gonna come out. I'm not even know it's gonna come out. The I can. So the comments they help out a lot. They keep that talk going. It doesn't have to be about the Raiders or Kings or Silver and Black. It could be about anything. We'll talk about anything. Fight Club that me and Adam are in or whatever. I don't know. So that's all I got for today. Thanks for checking it out. Thanks for your comments. Please like, follow, subscribe. Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly known as Twitter, Twitch. We're also on TikTok and Instagram. Give us a follow there. But please subscribe to the YouTube channel and follow us on X. It's much appreciated. Tell your brothers, tell your sisters, tell your mamas too to check out the Out of the Box Sports Entertainment, especially the Batcave, Silver Black Lair, and the Atomic Drop podcast. All right, so that's all I got. I'll see you guys later. Just win, baby, and go Kings, go.